Hello, and this is our 13th reading, and I've noticed that a few people are following along and leaving comments. That's very encouraging. Actually, I was going to skip today until I saw a few comments that people were actually following along, so that motivated me to get this one out today. And I will be doing these live probably next week. I'm kind of working on getting this technology ground up. But again, thank you for your comments, and here we go. We're going to move on to chapter 12 in Genesis, which picks up after the Tower of Babel. And we'll be looking at the prodigy mainly of Shem. Okay, so let's go there. We're in the King James Bible Online.org. The link is in the description. Chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I bless them, and bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took his wife Sarai, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram, and said, Unto thy seed I will give this land, and there build he an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from hence unto a mountain on the east of Bethlehem, and perched his tent, having Bethlehem on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still towards the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to the enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is my wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that I may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman that was very fair. And the princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commanded her before the Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into the Pharaoh's house. And he entered And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and asses and men servant and maid servants and she asses and camels. And the Lord plagued the Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And the Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why dost thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Who saidest thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And the Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. Well, that is quite a story. So it focuses on Abram, who is one of the prodigies of Shem after the Tower of Babel. And it looks as if the Lord started focusing in on Abram. So let's just go back. We'll skim through these and see if we can pick up some nuggets. Read up there in verse 1 of chapter 12. You see that Abram has been told to leave the country and to leave his father's house. Now, this is another one of these where something happened that probably wasn't too appropriate. And in chapter 11, near the end there, there's a vague reference to something not going down well. So in any event, Abram gets blessed and they leave the land. And again, in verse 3, you see that the Lord also puts a double whammy on him, and anyone that does anything to Abram will be cursed. Okay, so Abram departs, and there's in verse 5 a discussion about his wife, who apparently is very attractive. So he takes his wife and Lot, his brother's son, and all their stuff, and they go. And they pass through a fair journey, and in verse 8, you can see where there's a reference to being on a mountain. Abram's on a mountain, pitches a tent, and I guess he meditates, and he's east of Bethel, and Hai is on the east, and he builds an altar. So there's an event that takes place there. So he goes south there, and he's working his way to Egypt. And now there's this interesting section here from verse 11 on where I guess his wife, who was very attractive, in order to hide her, he kind of felt that if everyone thought that she was his wife, that he would have difficulty and they would kill him and take his wife. So he said that she was his daughter and would go to Egypt. And yep, it happened. People were attracted to her, but it was the Pharaoh that was very attracted to her and took her. And in exchange, the Pharaoh gave Abram all kinds of sheep and oxen, and I guess a place to stay, and men servants, and maid servants, and the whole bit. So he was kind of paid off, but the Lord was not happy with that. So the Lord put a plague. This is in verse 17, a plague on the Pharaoh, and somehow the Pharaoh figured it out and went to Abram, and in verse 18, the Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife. So basically, the Pharaoh kind of dusts his hands of them and instructs them to leave. Well, that's a very interesting story. Not sure how it fits in, but I guess we'll see in chapter 13 whether this story about Abram continues. I've noticed that in these first 12 chapters, there are references to things that may be picked up later on in the Bible or may be written in other books. But there's some details, obviously, that need to be drawn up. Okay, so that's 12 today. So thank you for joining me, and we shall see you in the next chapter.